how to be consistent in every field of your life that you could think of, in sports, in studies, being consistent with your family, anything you can think of. That is basically what we should do if we want to achieve anything. If we want to get this job, if we want to drive this car, if you want to have this body, we should be consistent in the things that we do every day, so eventually our actions lead us to the position we want to be in. And the consistency, it's a simple term. You do something every day, you repeat your actions, and you hope that one day they will lead you to the position you want to be. And of course, it's easier said than done. Be consistent means having priorities right, prioritizing things over others. It could be, let's say, waking up early to squeeze that workout in before your job. Let's say you have to wake up at 5 a.m. to do a workout. And of course, that's not easy. So how do some people actually manage to do that? And it's not enough to just say to yourself, I have to do it because, well, let's say it's healthy. If you have just a term healthy in your head, it will not be sustainable for a long time. What drives those other people to actually sustain that type of effort over time is they have something inside of them. They internalized a reality of themselves, where they would be if they didn't do it. Not if they did, but rather if they just stayed living the life that they had lived before, prior to, let's say, working out. They imagine, how would that affect my future? Where would I end up? Let's say if I don't work out every week, where would that lead me? Let's think. Obviously, if you compound that shit with drinking heavily, eating unhealthy foods, sleeping badly, poorly, having a bad lifestyle overall, that will lead you to major health bad conditions. You will probably grow a belly. You probably wouldn't be able to run a mile without gasping for air. And so, really, that is like not hard to do. Imagining yourself living the life that you don't want to live. That is very easy to do. And when you imagine that very vividly, kind of stays with you. When you internalize that position, it kind of acts like a drive inside of you, an energy ball that doesn't run out of energy. And over time, if you repeat that to yourself, if you internalize who you don't want to be, it will grow inside of you. It will become part of your identity. And with that identity, you move every single day. It shapes you. And that workout in the morning, it doesn't feel like an obligation anymore. It just It is just to stay true to yourself, to your words, to your identity. And so keeping a promise to yourself only works if you weight both the realities, where you want to be, where you are, and that where you will be, that reality can turn both ways, can turn the way you want it or the way you don't. And usually you know what to do. It is pretty obvious what you want to do. You just have to think about it, really, because every action has consequences. And when you think about them, it becomes way easier to make decisions, to make the right move at certain occasions, and then the problems, they become easier to solve. If you get offered, let's say, a beer at a party or at a gathering, if you know that beer affects you negatively, affects your health, you won't take it, and you won't even think about it, because that will be glued inside your identity. That happens when you repeat it long enough. Those decisions, they become instant. You don't need to think about stuff that you needed to think about prior to internalizing your realities. And so over time it will become easier to stay consistent. That is a fact. But it is like a muscle, like any other muscle within your body. If it's not trained, it will get worse over time. So practicing it consistently practicing your consistency will make you a consistent man.